says I can write a how-to paper to show the sequence in which cookies are made. Does anybody remember what a sequence is? What's a sequence?
The order.
The order. Just any order?
No.
What order does it have to be? Jilly?
The order you do everything.
The order you do it logically, right? That makes sense. All right, good. So when we talk about sequence, that's what we mean. And we're looking at how the sequence in which cookies are made. All right, then you also have 2 language objectives. One of them says I can use vocabulary that relates to the topic. And we were talking about how Randy is related to Alexandra. What does it mean when you're related to her?
You're related. You're related to.
It's
family.
it's like how it connects, how you're connected, right? So how how the vocabulary relates, how it's connected. Does that make sense? To the topic. What is a topic? Think about my room right now, and think about Miss Nunez's room. We have something in common. What do you see in both my class and Miss Nunez's class? Look around. You see any common things that you see in her room and my room?
Chairs.
There's chairs.
Shelves.
What about the little prickly things? Cacti, right?
Yeah.
So I could say it's a topic's kind of like that. It's like the main thing that the author or whatever it is that you're doing that you want to know. So if I'm talking about cats, dogs, horses, snakes, what topic would that be? Could be pets or animals, right? So the topic is just the overall thing that we're talking about. In this case, the topic would be what?
Making cookies.
Making cookies. Good. All right, the second one is I can use temporal words such as first, next, after that, and finally to show the order in which the procedure should be followed. So temporal words is kind of a big word, but you can almost use your context clues to connect that. Temporal words, another word for temporal would be like time, order. How you do things, you know how we were talking about you can't put your shoes on?
When you were in bed.
Yes, when you're in bed, you gotta wait till you get up. So the temporal words are like words like first, next, after that, and finally. And so we can show the order of the procedure. A procedure is something that you do. So in this case, what's the procedure? What are we doing? Making cookies. So that's what we're talking about today. You got that? Okay. The next thing that I want to do now that you know that, now that we know our topic is making cookies, I am going to introduce you to some topic vocabulary. All right? So here we go. The first thing I'm going to show you is this one right here. Measuring spoons. Say that word.
Measuring spoon.
Technically it's 2 words, isn't it? It's plural. No, it's not. Measuring spoon. Say it again.
Measuring spoon.
Okay, and a measuring spoon are spoons that are used to measure a small amount of an ingredient. You know what an ingredient is? What's an ingredient? An ingredient is something, do you know?
That you use to bake things.
Is it like I use it to make it?
Make cookies.
Like, do I stir with an ingredient?
Yes.
I don't stir the ingredient. I use a utensil to stir. The ingredient is what I put in to whatever it is I'm cooking, like flour or sugar or peanut butter, whatever it is I'm putting in there is the ingredient. So what are some ingredients you might need for cookies? Think about cookies you've had. Okay, the cookie dough. What do you think goes into the cookie dough? What do you think makes it sweet? What do you think makes it sweet?
Chocolate.
Maybe chocolate chips. What else? Sugar. Some ingredients. Here's an ingredient right here. You already know this one?
Eggs.
Eggs.
Use that to bake
Yep.
cake.
Yep. So an egg is a round or oval object laid by a female bird that is enclosed in a shell and used by humans for eating, cooking, or baking. Eggs. You've all seen an egg before. All right? Put that one up there. We have measuring cups.
To measure things.
To measure things out, right? What does that kind of relate to that we already have up here?
Spoon.
What? Because they both do what?
They both do measuring.
Measuring what? Ingredients. Good. So this one says a cup that measures a set amount of dry ingredients for baking or cooking, such as flour or sugar. So these are more for like powdery things, larger stuff. The measuring spoon is going to be for like your smaller ingredients that you don't need a whole lot of. This is called a spatula. Say that word.
Spatula.
And this is actually a plastic spatula. Say that.
Plastic spatula.
There you go. Say spat. Say it with me. Spat. Chew. La. Now say it together. There you go. Spat. Chew. La. Now say it together. There you go. If it's plastic, you know what plastic is? Point to something that's plastic in the room. What do you think something that's plastic? Maybe.
Those things over there.
Those little drawers, aren't they? Y'all see the drawers over there? Those are plastic, so that's what it means. It's made out of plastic. All right, y'all already mentioned this one. This is an ingredient. Chocolate chips. And chocolate chips are a bag of small pieces of chocolate used for baking. That's another ingredient. That kind of goes with those, doesn't it? We got a little theme going. All right. We have vanilla extract. I always got confused because I was like, is that what makes like vanilla ice cream and stuff? Like make taste right? But it's kind of like it's an ingredient that you use that almost gives it a smell more than a flavor. Have any of you ever seen your parents use vanilla in anything that they've cooked?
I think we use vanilla to make pancakes.
Okay, and it comes in a little bottle. It's like that, and you don't use very much of it because if you do, you just overpower the food. So you have vanilla extract, which is a liquid from a vanilla bean that is used in cooking and baking. So it's another ingredient we have there. All right, you have an oven mitt.
You need to take out something very hot.
Yep,
We have those at home. We have like 4 pairs of those.
that's right. So it's a mitten used for handling hot dishes and pans because you don't want to get what?
Hot.
You don't want to get burned from the oven. All right, you have an electric mixer. Now that is something, if it's electric, what does that mean?
It's used by electricity.
Okay, so you have to do what to it?
You need to put it on one of those outlets.
In a plug, right? An outlet, like when we plug stuff up, there's outlets in the room. Like when you, even when you plug up your Chromebook, right? You charge it. So it's an electric mixer. A kitchen tool used to speed up the mixing of ingredients. It says speed up because if you did it by hand, which one do you think would be faster? The electric mixer or doing it by hand?
Electric.
Electric, because your arm will get tired, right? All right, then you have, what's this one?
Sugar.
Sugar. Sugar is a sweet crystalline subject from sugarcane plants that's used as a sweetener. And when it says that crystalline, you know how sugar's kind of grainy? That's what that's talking about when it says that. We have a, what is this word again, this bottom word?
Rubber spatula.
Spatula. There you go. A rubber spatula. So it's just made of something different. Instead of the plastic, we now have the rubber. And it's a utensil used for scraping batter out of the bowl, stirring, and or blending of mixtures. When I was a kid, I used to like to lick the rubber spatula after. Did you too? Yeah, that's good stuff, isn't it? All right, we have the, what's this?
Oven.
The oven. What do you use the oven for?
We
Because
to cook.
To cook it. Good. I'm going to start going a little quicker through these because I think you guys know a lot of them. All right, what's this one?
Flour.
What is flour? Is it like a flour outside?
No.
Like I'm going to go pick it and sell it?
No.
What is
the
it?
flour that we use to cook.
Yes, that's right. What color is it?
White.
It's kind of like powdery too, isn't it? All right, good. You have, what's this?
Butter.
Butter. What's butter?
Butter.
What do you put butter on a lot?
Oh, we put pancakes on it.
Pancakes, maybe bread. Yeah, good. Cake, you put it in there. So we use butter for a lot of things, don't we? I like it on everything. What's that? Let's see if you know this one.
Mixing bowl.
Mixing bowl. Good, y'all pronounce that great. What do you think a mixing bowl's used for?
We
Put
put
stuff
the
in it.
And what would I do when I put the stuff
we
in
put
it?
the ingredients in
We
it.
put the, and then what do you think I'd use?
We use the electric.
There you
Mix
go.
this in.
And then we start mixing.
Good, good, yes, because if I did it just out in the open, it would go everywhere, right? I have to have something to shield it. And we've already done eggs, so that's good. All right, that's that, that topic vocabulary there that you have. So the purpose of this is because you're going to see a lot of this vocabulary, and it's important that you understand what I'm talking about as I'm going through this. And, you know, I am just a cookie expert. Did you know that? I can make the best cookies in the world. But in order to be a cookie expert, you have to know the steps that you take
You
to
need a
make
cookbook.
cookies. You might, or you just need to know the order. Because what if I tried to just crack the egg onto the bacon pan and put that in the oven? Would it work?
No.
No, there's a specific what?
Sequence.
That we have to go in order to make sure that we do it correctly. So, have you ever made anything, baked any cookies before? Has anybody ever baked cookies before?
Yeah.
You have?
We did raisins on cookie.
Okay. Did you need any of these things? What are some things you needed when you baked
We
cookies?
needed an electric mixer.
You needed an electric mixer,
We needed sugar and a mixing bowl.
sugar in a mixing bowl, an oven mitt to get it out, right? There's a lot of that stuff that you need, right? So now we got to change our brains a minute and not just think about the vocabulary, but I want you to think about the order that we might use this, the materials. Would it make sense? I'm going to put this up here now. I'm going to leave that up there so you can kind of reference it, but I'm going to add this to it. First thing you need to know is that anytime you're using a sequence, there's going to be some sequencing words that you want to know. All right? And we call those temporal words. Say that. Temporal words. And those are the words that tell you the order. So what is this temporal word?
First.
So should I put it over here?
No,
Why not?
because
Where does it go?
It goes right there.
Oh, in the beginning. Okay, where's my tape? There it is. All right, so I'm going to put this one up here, and I'm just going to kind of slant it so we have enough room. So first, what is this? Then, where do you think I could put that?
We put it next to the first.
Okay, put it next to the first. It goes there. That can make sense, yeah? Then, what about this one? Next. Okay, where do I need to put it?
Next to the then.
Next to the then. All right. I like that. All right. I have another. Let me ask you something. Just from word choice, would it sound better to kind of make these two? Should I put next, then next, so I don't repeat myself? They still mean the same thing, don't they? Does next and then kind of like synonyms, like words that mean the same? So does it really matter which order I put those in? Not really, because they mean about the same thing. For me as a writer, if I was doing this, I would probably switch these two around, just so that my word choice was a little more different and I don't keep using the same word time after time. But just for this, we'll go ahead and leave it up there because it doesn't really, it's right either way, as long as you know that. And then I have after. Where could that go?
That could go under the bottom.
Well, which one needs to go at the very end?
Finally.
Finally, because that means what?
Last.
I mean last. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We'll put finally over here, and we'll put after that over here. So now that I have these, I want you to refer back to here. What do you think is one of the first things I might use? You think a mixing bowl? So I could put this here. That's the first thing I would need?
Yes.
I'll move it, and then we can talk about it and see what we think. All right, Jelena says I'm going to put this here. All right, well, let's start from the end. What do you think would go under finally?
Oven.
You think oven? Why?
Because at the end we take out the cookies.
Okay, so I'm going to move oven over to here, to finally. Okay, that's good. So now I have a couple of these things right here. Well, before I even get to I got the mixing bowl. What else might I need?
Might need ingredients.
Okay, so am I going to get my ingredients? Or am I going to get all my materials that I need first? So what are some materials up here that I might need before I get started? We have a mixing bowl. What else? Electric mixer. I need to know where that is, right?
Right there.
All right, here we go. So I might need to gather my materials, you think? What else?
A measuring spoon.
A measuring spoon. I could move that. This is just like gathering my stuff. I'm just stacking them on top of each other because we're gathering materials. What else do I need to gather?
Measuring cups.
Measuring cups. Okay, what else?
Plastic spatula.
Okay. What else?
Measuring cup.
Measuring cup. What else?
A rubber spatula.
A rubber spatula. Now, what about this oven mitt? Do I need to get it first? When
No, I think that will be a fun.
No.
Hey.
After.
You think after? Well, when do I use that? When do
And
I use
I
it?
think I'll use it finally
Why? Why do you say that?
because when the cookies are done, you need to get out the oven mitt so you won't get burned.
So do I need to put my oven mitt on to gather my materials? Am I going to burn my hand from pulling the bowl out of the cabinet? No, I'm not, am I? So I only need that to do what?
To take out the cookies.
To take out the cookies. So, do you think that maybe, where might this one go? You think this one will go finally because we got to do it after we do what?
After
It's after.
After the oven. So where should I move this one? Am I going to put my oven on after I put them in? I'm going to put my cookies in the oven. Then the timer's going to go off, and what am I going to do?
we're gonna get our oven
I'm going to get my oven mitt and put it on so I can take them
out.
out. Do you see it? You see it, Jelena? Because I don't want to burn myself. Now, all my materials are right here. Those would probably go somewhere right here. Don't you agree? I have my utensils, things that I'm going to use, but then I gather my ingredients. All right? The biggest piece is to see you gather, then you fix it, then you put it in the oven, then you take it out of the oven. So, I have some more cards. All right? I'm going to kind of sit down here with you guys for this. I want you guys to work together to try to put these in the order that you think that they would go in, okay? Based on the pictures. What makes sense when we're thinking about the sequential order? All right, I'm just going to kind of spread them out. And I'll also take down these temporal words right here so that you can use those as well. All right, and y'all work together to try to figure that out. There's your first, your then, your next, your next, your after, your finally. All right, and finally. There you go. All right, what you think? Y'all talk about it. Talk about it, Jelena. So why don't you start with what you know? What do you know?
That goes on first.
Okay. But let me tell you something about this. This picture is a little confusing, and I want to explain it to you. This picture is actually supposed to represent the process of measuring the ingredients. This picture is showing getting all the stuff out of like the bowls and the ingredients that you're going to use. This is showing that you're measuring that. All right, so which one would go first? Okay, you have this one because that's gathering your ingredients, right? So what do you know now? Okay. Then you measured it, your ingredients. Then what?
Then that one.
What is that one?
Then we are mixing the ingredients.
That you measured out, right? Okay, so where does that one go? There you go. Then what?
Now we put.
Now those are the baked. See how they're cooked already?
Oh.
These are like the dough. This is the dough right here.
So we need to put them on next.
Why do you put that one here?
Because after you're putting the dough in
Onto the oven, so we need to put it on next.
Okay, so where does the oven go?
Right.
after.
Because you're gonna put the what?
We're gonna put the cookies in the oven so it can cook.
Right, and then?
We need to put the baked cookies on finally.
Very good. So now I want you to look at this, and I want you to take turns and kind of tell the order in which this happens. And I want you to really focus on using these words. All right, Randy, you go first.
We
First.
we took out. We need to get all of these things so we can start cooking.
Okay.
Then we need to take out the measuring thing to measure the ingredients.
Good use of vocabulary.
Next we have mix the ingredients.
Good, Randy.
Then we get the dough and then put the chocolate chips on it.
Mm-hmm.
After we put it in the oven,
What do I do at the end after I put it in the oven? Okay, what's my tempo word? Finally, I have what? Bake the cookies. Perfect. You guys did a great job with that. Do you feel confident about that order?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe, kind of. Okay, so what I'm going to give you now, this is going to kind of be an independent activity because you're all going to have something a little bit different that I want you to work on yourself. I'm going to give you this little sheet, like Scarlett, this one's yours. Jelena, this one is yours, and Randy, this one is yours, all right? And I'll kind of come around and talk to you each about it independently if y'all want to just go have a seat, and we'll look at each of these and see what you need to do, okay? All right, just go find a seat. Randy, you can go to that table right there if you want. All right, start with him. All right, Randy, so what you're going to do is you're actually going to use these sequencing words, and you're going to write out the steps that we just talked about. You have your pictures here, and you have a word bank here that you can use in your sentences. And you want to make sure you go in that sequential order. You got it? Just let me know if you need some help. All right. Scarlett, you are going to actually put the sequential words. So what are the words that we have?
first, next,
Mm-hmm. And I'll put them back up so you can use that as a guide. We have a then, right?
then,
Then you can use after. What's the one that goes here?
finally.
Finally, okay. And you're going to have your pictures, and I'm going to bring you some scissors and glue, and you're going to put it in the order yourself, okay? All right, and Jelena, you have your words here already there for you. And what I want you to do is you're going to write the order of the steps in which they happen, use sentences, and you can use your word bank down here to help you with that based on the order that we did. Got it? Let me know if you need any help. All right. So I'm going to put these right here for you. There you go. I'm just going to kind of talk now. When they finish the independent activity, they have 2 tickets out the door to kind of assess. So one of them is a language assessment, and where they'll match the vocabulary words that we talked about with the definition, and then the second one is going to be the sequencing ticket out the door to make sure they retain the sequence that they did. They did really well with it, so overall, it went well. Thank you.